Another day, another two looks one palette with a Louis Vuitton quad. You know, I've told you since these came out that even the refills, are expensive. Certainly not as expensive as the component. I only bought one component, but I bought the refills to put in and out of it. But still, they're pricey, and I want to be able to show you that you can get a variety of looks with them. So today we're going to take a look at the Waking Dawn quad, and then our deep dive into the Louis Vuitton lipstick formulas. I've done mattes and satins in previous videos, and today I'm going to show you the Louis Vuitton Balms, which I really like, but I don't think they're necessarily what some people expect. So if a deep dive into some more Louis Vuitton, Beaute by Miss Pat McGrath, Dame Pat McGrath, excuse me, sounds good, then please consider liking, subscribing, follow along, and shop my links, unsolicited advice on YouTube and Instagram. So in previous videos, I've showed you a variety of different quads, and the one today is a beautiful quad from Louis Vuitton that I will say, when I first saw the photos, when they came out about a month ago now, maybe a little more, I was less excited about this quad because peachy eyeshadows have never necessarily been a favorite of mine. I wasn't a huge fan of the Natasha Denona Bloom palette per se, or some of even Pat McGrath's more peachier quad she's had in the past. But then on a recent trip to New York, I was able to see this one in person, and it's so much more beautiful in person with unique colors. This one has a satin, two sort of more metallics, including this top one, which in all of the quads is not necessarily metallic, but in this one it's got more of a metallic finish. And then a matte, kind of a chocolatey, caramely brown. My issue with peach quads normally is that I can't get a lot of depth with them, but we'll see today what we can get from this, and it looks so beautiful. So let's bring you in a little bit closer, and we'll do two looks. Okay. Always screw it up. Okay. I sometimes feel like that little button is my, Achilles heel or something. I never can quite get it right. Now I have put my I'll be using Refer today, but I have put my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer down. So on this eye over here, I'm going to go in with this beautiful satin over here, which is kind of a coppery peach color. It's an interesting color. And I'm going to put this on the crease. It's a pretty color. Sometimes with peach palettes, they go so warm so quickly. But this one, although warm, it looks like it has a little bit of variety in it. Like this by itself would be a beautiful one and done color. It's just a really pretty color. And although warm, it's not terribly warm. It's almost a little bit like a terracotta. I'm going to go under a little bit as well. Now, I know that some of these quads and lipstick formulas have been selling out really quickly, or they're hard to get. So I will put my essay from Louis Vuitton from the pop-up store, Louis Vuitton Beaute pop-up store that's in Soho, down in the links and description section. Taylor has been really great with me and helping me out to obtain some of the products that I wanted that I could not get on the website for some reason. Okay, let's get my little mirror going too so I can see. Yeah, that's a really pretty color. I've got to the blindness point now where I have to have a small mirror to my side so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to build that color up quite a bit on this outer portion. And I'm using a Refer 14. And then I'm going to do a light wash of it across the lid. Just a very light wash. Okay. That is a beautiful one and done color. It's not terribly, it's got a little satin in it. It's actually a unique color. It's hard to describe. It's got a little bit of goldy pink in it, but it's really a beautiful peachy terracotta color. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of the cocoa brown down here, and we'll see how much depth we can get from this, and run this along the lash line and this outer corner. Okay, there's some depth. Much like I've said with all of these, if you're expecting like a mothership, that's not what these are. They're a beautiful, refined formula, but it does require a little bit of building. It has a lot of pigment, but it does require just a little bit of building, so you can get a very light and ethereal look, or you can get something very dramatic. Okay, so let's grab this beautiful peach metallic here. And I find with these metallics, they apply beautiful with a brush, they apply beautiful with a finger, they apply beautiful with a wet brush. But in this case, I'm just going to use my finger and I'm going to place it over the bulk of the lid. The metallics in this line have a really unique formula. It's almost like they have suspended glitters. I know when they first came out, that's how they described it, was that they had these beautiful suspended shimmers in them, like a gel formula. And you don't really notice them as much up close, but when you go outside or the sun hits them or you're under lights, you really notice this veil that I have not seen achieved by another brand, certainly not on the luxury market. It's just a really refined sparkle. And then on the inner portion, the inner eye and under the brow, we'll do this last kind of cream metallic shade. This one does have a little bit of gold in it. It's a pretty color. It's just a really beautiful look. I'm going to take my brush and just remove any excess product. And I'm just going to go out here just a little bit and diffuse that just a little bit more, and then I can redefine it when I get my eye pencil out in a second and my mascara. But before we do that, let's go on to a separate look over here. So on this look over here, I'm going to start with that caramely terracotta brown on the outer portion. And I'm going to bring that up. This is a pretty color. It doesn't have a ton of depth. Buildable, of course. But you might want to use... Well, I've done, you'll definitely, I always like to use with these lighter colors in particular, like a primer, because I've got a little bit of discoloration, and with darker colors you can kind of get away with it because it hides them, but with lighter ones you do want to use a little bit of, you can see though, it is building up quite a bit. But if you're looking for like a deep, dark espresso, that's not what this is. This is more of a caramel, like a burnt caramely kind of cocoa color. Now I'm removing excess product here, or I have removed it from my brush, and I'm just going in to kind of soften that edge just a little bit. You could go really diffused with this. I don't know how this quad necessarily would show up on darker skin tones. It could be really beautiful. There is a good amount of pigment there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just grab a little bit of that coppery color, and I'm just going to wash over the main part of the lid, just a little bit. That's pretty. And then, let's see. I think what I want to do is really feature this kind of creamy golden color. So I'm going to grab some of that on my finger and place it in the center. Under the bottom, what I'm actually going to do is on my brush, just grab a little bit of that creamy color and bring it right here. And obviously I put under the brow as well. And then I'm going to take a little of this on my finger just for the inner eye color. This is a beautiful brightening shade. Now what I'm going to do is something I've done a lot with these Louis Vuittons is I love the way the metallics look with a little bit of water on a brush. So I grab a 21 and I'm just going to moisten it. I'm going to moisten it a little bit. And I'm going to grab that peachy beautiful metallic here. And I'm going to do a pretty dramatic I have been doing kind of a lighter one, but I think with this one we can do a little more dramatic because it's a lighter quad in general. Wing with this metallic color. So I'm actually going to go fairly thick with this. It is a pretty color. And I found these metallics work so beautifully wet. They just really concentrate. That looks really pretty. And I'm just continuing to build it up. I'm not necessarily going higher, but I'm building up the pigmentation. And I'm going to bring that all the way in. And what I'm actually going to do is on that same brush, I'm just going to clean it off and I'm going to moisten it again. And I'm going to go in with that cocoa brown on the bottom part and just kind of mimic what I did on the top with the peach. Now you obviously would not have to wet your brush, but it gives you so much more control and pigment payoff. And I'm going to carry that all the way over. So I'm pretty much just mimicking. I think that looks really beautiful. Now I'm going to grab a liner and we'll do lashes and then we'll come back and go on a deep dive of the lip balms. Okay, bye. So before I go into the liner and lashes, I want to dramaticize, I guess I'm making up words now, this look a little bit. So I'm actually grabbing a liquid liner. This is the Stila All Day Double-Ended Liner. And I actually love this product. I don't have a ton from Stila, but it has such a super fine tip. A lot of people tell me that it's reminiscent of the Tom Ford one, which I've never got. I can't necessarily justify that price, but if it is, then that would be excellent because the Stila one has such a fine tip. And then on the other end, had more of a standard one. So I've done just a little half wing there just to add a little bit of drama. And then for the liner, you know, Cocoa from Victoria Beckham or Black Coffee from Pat McGrath would be great, but I wanted to go a little bit lighter, so I grabbed Terracotta from Victoria Beckham, which I think is going to play in beautifully with that brown color that's in that quad. Now, obviously, if you wanted more drama, you could go with like a Black Coffee or a Cocoa, but I think that's really pretty and keeps it a little bit less dramatic. If you never tried this liner, if they still have it, I think they do, but if you can find another one, it's kind of a beautiful, warm, caramel color. It's an interesting color, you just don't see that much. Now let me grab my Rephr curler and give these a curl. And I have my YSL Lash Clash in Uninhibited Brown, and we're gonna try to not stab me in the eye today. Always a plus. What's interesting, I don't think Pat McGrath has ever done a brown mascara. Now that I think about it, like Lisa Eldridge has one, Victoria just came out with a Cocoa one. It's just interesting. It's not necessarily necessary given we have so many beautiful ones on the market. Even lower priced brands like Tower 28 has a great one. It's just interesting. I guess I've never really thought about it. But you know, she's never done brow products either. Maybe those are things that are coming. Or maybe she's just gonna let others stick to those. So I think those are two really cool looks. I really like this one with that liner, that very strong peachy liner. I think that's a very interesting look. This is more of a traditional way of wearing it, but it's really beautiful, and that little bit of that liquid liner really did kick it up a notch. So this one, of course, keeps it a much more neutral, and this really plays into the peach. Okay, now I'll bring you out. So Louis Vuitton Beaute by Dame Pat McGrath has 3 lipstick formulas. They have the matte formula, which I believe they have in about 25 colors. They have the satin in about 25 colors. And then they have 10 of what they call their balms. And I would say that if you're looking for like a Fenty balm, those gloss balms, I love those, or like the YSL Love Shines, you're going to be disappointed. These are a lot more hard pressed in the bullet, and they are very hydrating, and they have a good amount of pigment. So if you're looking for something very shiny like that, that's not what this is. I consider these more of like a low coverage lipstick. So let me pull one for you, and I'll show you the colors that I have today. I have 4. And I really love this formula, especially with a liner. And the last one, of course, we'll do with a liner. But not all of these colors will go with today's look, but at least I can show you the different colors. And they, like all the others, come in the beautiful bullet, although the balms come in the white bullet. Or ivory kind of color. Beautiful, no stickers. Obviously I had to put a sticker because I'm going blind, but no stickers. the beautiful all metal filling, and they just pop right in. And you can actually use these with the black one if you want. That comes with the standard lipsticks. The bullets, if you buy just the refills, come just like the others with this beautiful, just, you know, beautiful that you can snap in and out bullet. But then they have a clear tube, and it's a slightly different top. So you can't use the lids from the lipsticks on them, but they do come with this little clear one that you can pop on. So I'm going to bring you a little closer, and we'll show you the different colors and then that I have. And then the last one, we'll put the liner and complete the look, because that's how I normally would wear these. Okay. I did that all by myself. Amazing. Okay, so this first one is called Monogram Touch, and it's kind of a dark brown with just a little bit of kind of maroon in it. They have a light kind of minty scent, but they don't burn or anything like that. But you can see they have a good amount of pigment. That's why I consider them more of like a light coverage lipstick. And if you can see in the bullet, it's a very tight formula, which I really like. It doesn't have that kind of, how would you describe it? That overly wet feeling of like the Fenty ones, which I also really love, but those are super shiny. These are not like that. These have beautiful shine. They feel extremely hydrating, but they're more of a light coverage lipstick. Look beautiful with the liner. This is actually a beautiful color. So this is Monogram Touch. And just to prove my point about the pigmentation, with the makeup remover wipe, look how much pigment's coming off there. So they actually have a good amount of pigmentation, and they feel so nice and hydrating. Now the next color I have to show you won't go with this look, but it's a beautiful color nonetheless. And again, they just snap in and click. And this is Rose Essence. I love how hydrating these feel, and it's hard to describe something as kind of like tight in the bullet, but what it does is it prevents them from running a lot. Sometimes, as much as I love the Fenty or the YSL, they can kind of get away from you. These don't do that. This is really a beautiful formula. So this is Rose Essence. Or Rose Essential. It's a pretty color. Okay, so the next color we have is Nude Poetry. This I really love. I think it's a super duper color, a neutral kind of caramely color. This was actually the first one that I purchased. And it's after trying it that I knew I needed to get some more. And there's 10 total, although only 9 are colored, 1 is a clear. So that's Nude Poetry, just a perfect your lips but better color. Nude Poetry. And for this last one, I think it will go really well with this eye look. I've grabbed the Victoria Beckham liner in shade number 2. A beautiful, cool neutral. But not too cool. And I really do love these with a liner like this. So this last one is called Sunset Hour, and it's kind of a beautiful orangey color. Like I said, there are others. There's very red ones. There's a berry color that's really beautiful. There's kind of a fuchsia. There's a clear, like I said. So there's more colors than just these four, but I think it'll give you a variety. This one is a beautiful kind of sunset, as it says, sunset hour, kind of orangey nude color. Oh, someone's popping. I think that looks really beautiful with that liner. And as I pull out, you'll be able to see how beautiful it goes, I think, with this look. So let's bring you out now. Oh, I almost got it. Yeah, that looks really beautiful. So like I said, you need to level set with your expectations on the balms. If you're looking for something that's really luxurious and hydrating with some color, I mean, you can see there's a good amount of pigment. Even like I said on my wipe, there's a ton of pigment. I think you'll really like these. But I think that this quad is really beautiful. It's a little more subtle than some of the other ones, but I think it's very pretty for like a peachy terracotta-y look. So what do you think? I like it. So again, this is the Waking Dawn quad from Louis Vuitton, and the Balm Essentials, which I really enjoy. The beautiful color story, more of the warm neutral color story. I would say there's one called Nude Mirage that's more kind of a cool neutral, and then the one that's kind of flat neutral in the middle is Beige Memento, which I will also need to film with soon. But in the meantime, if you kind of like this content and you enjoy my perspective, then I really would appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, follow along, and share my links. And if you know others who like this kind of content, then please share. You know, as the channel, I would like to continue to grow it, and I think it's going to take some of the dedicated people that have been so kind to me to share it and to get the word out. So again, like, share, subscribe, and shop my links. Beautiful looks, and so I look forward to seeing you again soon, and I appreciate all of you so much. Bye.